It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Fresh off a hiatus from making intros. Back to school and these niggas primrose. Copying me Kinkos. Money stretching, it's athleisure. Did it with no gym clothes. My ambition indigenous. Live within me. It's simple, boy, I been that nigga. My mouth full of strings, I go Jimi Hendrix. I'm in a lane by myself and I'm pushing city limits. But 20 years in development without any gimmicks. Get something fried was my destiny. Watch me get this chicken miles away from heartache. Hardly away from home. Hardest rap out the city. Harpoons aimed at the throne. Fuck about my peripheral flow is visceral, physical specimen. Y'all full of estrogen, a bitch or two. I did it first. Used to send a verse, keep whatever works. Features never dropped, I should've sent the hearse. Nobody compares, not even the man in the mirror. Used to be better till I put this rap shit to the rear. Y'all be the third string, I'm first team. Come from a city home and serve fiends with burnt dreams. Right like the Bernstein Bears, saw the man in the martyr. Play our daily depart him. Pray I remain an exemplary father. Harder to sting on my dean. Raw denim jeans, youth in my jeans. Keeping out the city, gun in my bag. By any means, Malcolm. I was taught to stay ready for every outcome. These niggas poke their chest into the pound thump. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. In this video, we gotta get up with game. Unfortunately, once again, people are still pushing these tired, stale, unproductive, unnecessary narratives about Drake and the status of hip hop. Now, we just heard from people like the DJ that don't spin on this subject. We've heard people like Esso and Heineken from Bag Fuel on this subject. We've heard from people like Remick and Maleficent podcast on this subject. People seem to have this idea that Drake being on so-called hiatus is ruining hip hop, is putting us into a decline. I don't know where they would derive this information from, but apparently there's a lot of folks out there that just miss Drake. Gave y'all an album last year. Apparently, they weren't satisfied with it. He keeps feeding y'all, not the Iceman album, but creamsicles that y'all act like y'all like. Y'all act like they be the hottest shit out in the street when they drop. But then, after a few weeks, y'all hunger is no longer satiated, and apparently that means he's not here. Right? He gave y'all a whole Iceman 3-episode rollout, supposedly a 4th on the way. But clearly they weren't entertained by that. None of us truly were, but it was a moment in time. So, because of all of those things, they say, man, hip hop is suffering. It's on a decline. We're back into a famine in hip hop. I can remember back in 2022, 23, where these same conversations were happening, right? So let's not forget, in some of Drake's most active moments in the past 5 years, people were still spreading these narratives. And the reason why I think people are really spreading these narratives is, number one, they want him back on top, right? Not so much as the top streaming, because he is allegedly the top streaming artist in the world or in hip hop. Apparently that's not enough. They want him to be on top in terms of fanfare, the favorable reviews. And they feel like the people that are willing to speak and hold him to the fire, hold his music to the same standard of everybody else, are doing him not only a disservice, but also the industry. Someone else who's been very adamant about this same narrative has been Isaac Hayes III. We dissected his shit a couple weeks ago, and I had a very long rant, a very necessary rant, nonetheless, giving people names and alternatives and, of course, other successful hip-hop projects that have come out in the last year that actually negate everything that people have been talking about. I'm not going to do that again today, right? But we are going to have a conversation no less. So let's pull up this. Originally, it's a tweet from Isaac Hayes III that Game ended up reposting on his story and adding his thoughts to. So here we go. Isaac Hayes III said the Kendrick Drake beef killed commercial rap music. He keeps pushing this, and he's very relentless. It gives him engagement. It puts his name in the conversation, which I think is ultimately what he wants. And I think he expects that those moments would lead people to his fan base app, which has not proven successful yet. He's been going viral for the last 5 years, and usership is what it is over there. But anyway, he says it turned hip hop into an engagement art form, not a chart performing one, right? So I'm guessing what he's trying to convey here is, as far as an engagement art form, it's got the people talking. People such as myself and others on YouTube are able to talk about hip hop, talk about the music, talk about the controversy, talk about the beefs. However, he feels that it's not translating into chart performance for the artist. Remember, this is the same guy that said that Glorilla should have won Best Hip Hop Album at the Grammys this year. No diss to Glorilla, but no. And then it was also exposed that he had, credit on one of the Glorilla songs for sampling his dad. So that also showed his lack of ingenuity, even on that front. He says, everyone showed up, debated, replayed, picked sides, ran the numbers up. Meanwhile, the Billboard Hot 100 kept moving. The beef fed the masses and killed the charts. So I see why labels are cutting back. Black folks would rather tear down artists from both sides when collaboration is what drives expansion. This is the same guy who's taken the last 2 years pretty consistently to try to tear down Kendrick, make him seem less talented, less relevant, while simultaneously hoisting up Drake. But then he wants to say people would rather tear down artists from both sides. You actively participated in the tearing down of an artist on one of the sides, yet now you want to complain. Why don't you goddamn take some of that money from fan base and invest in a motherfucking artist? You used to make beats once upon a time. What happened? Not good enough. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Then you got Game. And apparently Pete Rock must feel the same way, because Game got this from real Pete Rock, which I think is extremely crazy, because Pete Rock and Common had a decent album that's dropped in the last couple years. I think it was a little overhyped personally, but I think Common did good performances on there. The beats wasn't really my taste. Pete Rock's beats ain't really been banging the way that they should for a minute, but that's just my opinion. So Game says, y'all ain't appreciate one of the greatest. Now the absence and silence has the art form down 50%. Now, where JCon got the 50% metric from, I do not fucking know. Once upon a time, they said the game was down 50%, not the Game the rapper, but hip hop. A few years ago, they said the game was down 70%. The sales are down. Hip hop is becoming one of the least streamed, least successful genres in hip hop. They're divesting from hip hop. They're looking at Afro beats. They're looking at world music. They're looking at international artists. And at the same time, at the end of each of those years, hip hop was still the motherfucking king. And I'm willing to bet at the end of 2026, the story will remain the same. So I don't understand why people feel like they have to lean on this particular narrative. I think it's convenient because you get to say a statistic, and for people that aren't going to go out and check those statistics or fact check or look further into it, the people that are on social media that are scrolling and they see something, they like it, They retweet it, reshare it, and move on about their day. If it comes across their timeline, it's gotta be true. Damn, that sound like somebody bars. Heard it on the Button podcast. It's gotta be true. And then it just goes from there. It becomes, common knowledge, although the knowledge is actually false. It becomes fake news in the minds of somewhat decent people. If hip hop is down 50%, why is it that rappers like Game, and I know Game has definitely tarnished his legacy in multiple ways, not just this whole Kendrick Lamar situation, but the sexual assault stuff, the allegations of dealing with an underage India Love, I think it was, and shit like that. That's kind of taking him out of the rap conversation, but nonetheless, I still see promotion for him when he drops. People still hype up his music, so why isn't it that Game can't help resurrect it or sign somebody or put the music? Why hasn't Game put anybody on in the last 10 years? Let's start there as a vet. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, Dr. Drake got nasty allegations against him, and he still found ways to traverse every generation just about with an artist or two. So what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Even Snoop, with everything that he's done to make his fall from grace a loud thud, he still finds ways to work with new artists, put on new artists, co-sign new artists, so long as it's in service to him and collaboration with him on his new projects to make him look good. But nonetheless, he still does it. So where are the people that are actually complaining about this stuff? People in the industry, but yet not trying to contribute to anything beneficial to the industry that they're actually complaining about. And this is where I want to keep the conversation. Okay? So, you mean to tell me y'all believe that the Kendrick and Drake beef, which overly stimulated the industry for the last 2 years, had diss songs no less, on the top 10 of the charts for weeks at a time from both sides, mind you, at a time where people were already complaining like they are now? But y'all don't want to blame the labels. Y'all don't want to blame the lack of artist development. Y'all don't want to blame people that have the means, the resources, supposed to have the creativity. Y'all supposed to be the experts that ain't putting shit into talent. Y'all don't want to blame the so-called SoundCloud rap era that came in the mid 2010s as the blog era was running shit. Y'all allowed counterculture to come in, youth to come in and say, fuck that rap shit. I'm a rock star under the guise of a rapper. Y'all signed them. Y'all invested in them. Couple of them blew up. The rest of them are basically cellar dwellers. Still performing to this day music from 2016 era. That's who y'all chose. That's who y'all picked up. That's who y'all signed. That's who y'all put money into. Y'all don't want to blame the TikTokification of music, which completely changed the way that people hear music and consume it. If it didn't have a little dance to it, it wasn't valid. If you couldn't do the fucking Lil Uzi pat my fucking pockets dance to it, it wasn't legit. You know what I'm saying? If the voice on the track didn't sound like a kid finna ask his mama for $20, y'all said, we don't want to hear it. Y'all need to get with this. I'm sure some of y'all have seen the young lady, the R&B artist who was literally crying in recent weeks saying that her label told her You're talented. You're great at this music thing, but you need to give us some music that we could get on TikTok. She's fucking crushed. Label, management, everybody's telling her you need to find a viral TikTok moment for your career. Girl literally crying on social media. But y'all want to talk about what's not going on. I know this missed some of y'all radar, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it. This is Gogo Morrow. She came out about 7 days ago, excuse me, with this video.
I just had a meeting with my management team. It wasn't even really a meeting. It was more like an intervention. Of course, I was unaware of the topic. Of course, the topic was me. And I feel so heavy. I don't even know what the point of this video is. I feel very overwhelmed. Trying to make it as an artist in today's times is like, it's the most backwards thing you could ever do. It's the most craziest thing you could ever do, because literally living in like bizarro land, and the things that are being praised are the dumbest things in the world. It's the dumbest shit that is winning. And meanwhile, somebody like me who really cares about, I really care. I really care. I really, really care. But I'm being questioned. I'm being questioned on whether or not I care, because I can't come up with dumb ideas in order to get popular. My brain doesn't even work that way. It functions off of the things that inspired me growing up. And those things no longer work today, and I just feel so overwhelmed at the thought that I have to figure out this equation. And it's like, I know how blessed I am. I know there are people who would kill to be in the position that I'm in, but then I'm honest, I would kill to be in other people's positions, and to hear your own team tell you they don't think you want it, when this shit literally haunts me every day. It literally haunts me every day, but they think I'm not hungry because my brain doesn't work in a way of how people get popular today. And guys, when I say I have no clue. I have no clue what to do. I'm 2 seconds. I'm 2 seconds away from quitting.
All right. So in the caption here, it says, uploading this, then throwing my phone in the ocean. She ended up having to edit this post because people like myself and others commented and was like, might be time to part ways with the team. Might be time to fire your team. Might be time to ask for your release papers. Might be time to hit them with the poo shiesty. Okay? So then she had to edit it and says, not too much on my team, guys. They really have my best interests at heart. Just venting. I think that's a load of bullshit. But of course, she still has to deal with these people. She's contractually bound to them. So of course, it's not going to be a good look if she has the whole internet attacking her team while she's still dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? But come on. And this is just a microcosm of what's going on daily in this so-called industry from artists who are dealing with the people who are supposed to have their best interests at heart. But if you can't find a way to get yourself viral on TikTok, they don't give a fuck about you. But y'all niggas got the nerve to blame people who are critical of Drake for killing hip hop, when the institutions that are supposed to be backing hip hop don't fuck with hip hop, don't care about hip hop, won't invest in hip hop. That is a much bigger issue than anything Drake related. The industry, the health of the music industry, the health of hip hop, the health of the fucking consumer base is way bigger than Drake. Y'all gotta let that man's shaft have a rest. Because what the fuck? The nigga, yeah, he held y'all down. There was once upon a time Drake's music, as they claim, was keeping the labels in business. He was bringing in so much market share that other artists were able to get deals, those that may not have even deserved it, because he was just bringing in so much money that they could have disposable income for them. Now he's in a position where I guess he ain't that no more. And now they say, well, y'all didn't appreciate him. He didn't appreciate his fucking spot. Because if you also want to talk about who helped kill hip hop, his ass did. During the pandemic, when music entered the transitional phase that we're still suffering from right now, instead of him coming out with some real music, he leaned in on the Tootsie slide. When his fans were excited about him dropping, he came out with a dance album that nobody danced to called Honestly Nevermind. This nigga dropped an album in 2023 for all the dogs. That shit was dog shit. He helped kill fucking hip hop. Y'all want to talk about 50% down? That nigga's talent level of his writers and team has gone down 50%, if not more. That nigga's quality musically has gone down 50%. Y'all niggas gotta quit the shit, man. Isaac Hayes III, focus on your fan base app and help him rebuild his fan base. Maybe y'all should get back together and help that, instead of coming out here talking to us like we don't know what the hell going on. Isaiah Rashad, it's been awful, coming soon. That's gonna be hip hop, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? Not to mention, this is the same fucking nigga. I don't know. Y'all tell me, have y'all seen any other major label artist, major marquee act come out with an AI song like he did on Tailor Made? Isn't AI one of the biggest concerns in all of the creative endeavors, creative ventures, creative industries? Isn't AI one of the fucking biggest concerns? Who else have y'all seen at that level creating AI music song? None that I know of. He did. So, miss me with that bullshit. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, though. Y'all be easy.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5-6 bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The